Sprite isn't just a drink anymore, now it's helping your work get noticed.
Just an hour ago, McEwen hosted a Sprite Refreshing Films contest where students entered original screenplays. The program gives future filmmakers a chance to create movies with industry pros.
At the end, the screenplay with the most votes will be shown at an upcoming film festival. The winner will also get an all-expenses-paid 2-night trip to the festival. The deadline for script submissions is November 30th.
Students' off-campus fun can now be a little bit more enjoyable. Elon's Phoenix Cash project has stretched off its off-campus locations. Now there are more shops that accept Phoenix Cash. The new restaurants and stores include Cadoba Mexican Grill in Alamance Crossing, Lowe's Foods on University Drive, Vesuvio's Pizza on South Church Street, and Gibsonville Pharmacy, to name a few. That's not the only Phoenix card news. As Phoenix14 News reported earlier in the year, students were unhappy with the meal plan options at Topio's Pizza in Octagon. While you could get 2 pieces of pizza and a drink using the meal plan, a piece of pizza and a salad was not an option. But that has changed. Now students can opt for a salad instead of the second slice and still use their meal plans.
Under the Oaks may have some competition as new plant life sprouts in another area on campus. Today, President Leo Lambert announced Elon will be home to a new forest. The forest will support a variety of plant species, animals, and other organisms. To increase protection, the land will not be open to the public. The Elon University Forest will span 56 acres just north of campus. And something to complement the new nature preserve, a new science major and minor is joining Elon's studies. The Department of Environmental Studies introduces a Bachelor of Science in Environmental and Ecological Science. There is also a new minor in Environmental and Sustainability Studies. The major targets students wanting careers in environmental science, wildlife biology, and ecosystem management and restoration. Students minoring in environmental science will study the backgrounds of scientific understanding and environmental values.
It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and one Elon professor is certainly doing her job alerting others. Jackie Dinnick joins us with more. Jackie, what is so unique about this Elon professor?
Well, Jasmine, after 10 years of writing, this professor's work finally pays off. With her book published, she remembers how her breast cancer journey inspired her to write.
When I was waking up from that operation, I thought, I need to do something more to help people.
Barbara Gordon was diagnosed with breast cancer in summer 1995. That left her searching for information. Now she's helping other women in her position get answers.
It was my experience at needing information myself that spurred it.
Gordon is providing that information. Her book covers medical topics such as testing and treatments, but it also has an emotional side.
The emotions that you might experience, the feeling of like, why me? Or how do I, in the last stages of my life, live fully and live well.
Gordon was about to travel to Italy to prepare for a future study abroad class when a doctor found a lump in her breast.
My eyes just welled up with tears. It was like I knew at some level that this was a problem, but I didn't want to face it.
When her doctor called to confirm it was cancer, Gordon was shocked.
I just kind of sunk down on the floor and cried, and I felt really good because my cats were oblivious, and it kind of reminded me how the rest of the world is oblivious. And there's a comfort in that. It's sort of like, the rest of the world's fine, you know, I'm having this crisis and I'll have to deal with it.
Gordon's family lived far away, but good friend and fellow professor Janet Mormon stepped in.
When you're getting news that's really hard to hear, you don't hear it all, and it's helpful to have someone else listening.
Gordon started listening and made positive changes to her life.
I made a point of seeing people I loved more and making more room for them in my life.
Gordon's book, Breast Cancer Recurrence and Advanced Disease, a comprehensive expert guidance, is now on shelves. Back to you.
That's great. Thanks, Jackie. An Elon haunted tradition is no more. The Smith Haunted House has been around for years, but not without recent problems.
In 2008, Smith had to cancel the haunted house due to fire violations. Those violations were caused by the fog decorations.
And in 2009, the haunted house returned, but in a different location. East Area held the event in a tent between Smith and Carolina dorms. Although Smith has no set plans for a haunt this year, students can walk across the street to McMichael for Halloween events.
The Science Building is full of tricks and treats this week. The Biology Club and Beta 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 are hosting a costume contest and trick-or-treating.
Prizes will also be giving out on all 3 floors of McMichael. The festivities will take place this Friday starting at 3 p.m.
Don't move, we'll be right back with more.
Far from home, no matter where he goes, Phoenix 14 met up with an alum who traveled especially far to come home.
Stomp the Yard, that's how one organization kicked off homecoming. On Friday, chapters from the National Panhellenic Council hosted their first yard show. The show debuted outside on the Phi Beta Kappa Commons. A yard show is an informal step show. Members of the NPHC have 7 to 10 minutes to sing chants, stroll to songs, or even step. Traditionally, there's a step show during Elon's homecoming. This year, it was different.
Our black alumni have always complained, saying, they don't want to come to the step shows if they don't see Elon teams. Well, this yard show is only Elon teams, and fortunately we have six of the 7 organizations present on our campus performing in this yard show.
Over the weekend, alumni came from home, jobs, and other commitments for homecoming. But one alumni came from Africa. Since graduating in May 2009, Elon alum Jonathan Harvey works overseas as a contractor for military companies. This is how he got the odd job.
I sent my resume to another company called PAE Group, who I work for now, and they offered me a job as the Air Terminal Operations Center supervisor in Djibouti, Africa.
Harvey works in various conditions overseas, but says he is always thankful for the chance to come visit back home in the States. So to come on Phoenix 14 News.
Safety first for the Phoenix. We'll tell you what team is taking time to pad up their players to prevent a popular injury. That's next in sports. Phoenix were in action this weekend, battling SoCon rivals away and at home. Women's soccer was away this weekend, beating Western Carolina 2-1.
Men's soccer was also away in Boone playing against App State, but the Phoenix lost 2-1 in double overtime.
The volleyball team was at home for 2 games this weekend. They beat the Citadel 3-0, but fell to the College of Charleston 3-1.
And football was in action this homecoming weekend. Wofford set the bar high early in the game, scoring 2 touchdowns before halftime. The Phoenix tried to keep up, but ultimately lost to the Terriers 28-1.
A long row of royalties.
Hard hits can lead to hard times, but Phoenix football is staying fierce with guarded gear.
Football is a game of hard hits. But those hard hits can lead to serious injuries that have lifelong effects. Elon's football coaches are trying to protect players from serious injuries. Head coach Pete Lembo believes he is already helping his team stay safe.
And we constantly educate our guys what's an acceptable tackle, what's an acceptable hit.
Lembo and his staff teach their team how to stay safe on the field.
If you've been doing the right things all along, you shouldn't have to change a whole lot.
And give them gear that keeps them safe if there is a hard hit.
They're all air helmets. They used to be back in the day, they used to be just, foam helmets. And people used to find out that when you would get hit with a foam helmet, there was nowhere to disperse the energy that was coming through.
Elon running back Jamal Schumann knows the effects of a hard hit.
I got hit in the shoulder and right in the helmet by 2 players, and I blacked out.
Schumann was sidelined for 2 weeks last November because of a concussion.
No, I was just anxious to get back on the field, so it didn't change the way I played, but I think about it, like when I'm not playing, I'll think about it, maybe I have to protect my head a little bit more.
He says Elon's coaches are looking out for him and his opponents.
They just tell us to play and just to be smart out there and don't hit somebody that can't protect themselves.
Athletic trainer Marty Baker reminds his players that concussions don't always come from just one hit.
Those kinds of injuries can be cumulative, and they can have long-term disabling effects on a person.
Whether a concussion comes from one hit or many, it's important for players to get treatment.
Because if not, then we're predisposing them to some long-term disabilities, and we certainly don't want to do that.
Laura Levitt, Phoenix 14 News.
Don't go anywhere, Elon. We're coming right back.
Phoenix 14's pre-election special is only minutes away.
Drew Smith has a look at what's ahead in our next half. Drew?
Hey guys, we've got a great show for you coming up. The candidates, the issues. We'll see you all in a little bit. It's coming up right after this break.